And welcome everybody to another episode of The Lone Engineer. As you can see right now, some of the keys are not working. What the heck? Alright, something's broken. Oh well. Moving on. So, as you can see, I'm in from the first episode of the Learning to Survive the Lone Engineer. I am in the Learning to Survive scenario. I left off with you yesterday, last time, I had collected the refinery. I've collected the construction ship, or the construction ship with the grinder and the welder on it. I've also collected that base. We've stopped off over at the Outlook outpost and did the missions there, or tasks there, demolished that. We've also recovered the hydrogen miner as well and brought that back with us. All that was done with the starter ship. Well, I have found with the many times I've played this, starter ship not carry enough cargo for what I need while transiting and moving around safely before I get to the planet and before I finish actually the final designs of the widened Challenger model. So let's take a look at some of the changes. So this is no longer the starting platform. It is the starter platform still. It's still labeled as the starting platform. As you can see, it still says starting platform on the dish, though it's rotating. I have ore detectors there rotating, kind of like radar. Sorry, I'm Navy. I kind of like the idea of the rotating dish and things just like radar. Enemy detection and mineral detection. Yay! All right, so I've got the new refinery, one of the industrial refineries. I've got an industrial assembler. I like the way they work in a station type outline. I don't use them a lot. Mainly I use them in space, or if I'm building a large station on a planet. I'll use those. Majority of the time I use the original refinery and the original assembler because they don't take up as much room, and they have a few more connections on them than the industrial does. As you can see, the industrial assembler is not a 1x1x2. It's a 2x2x1. So it takes up 1 block wide, 2 blocks tall, and 2 blocks long. So it's a little different. It takes up more space than the assembler. So as you can see around here, you cannot see the starter ship anymore. It has been completely demolished. Before then, I had gone out and collected some platinum, and I've added a few ships to my repertoire. One being a larger mining ship that I've been using to gather large amounts of resources. This is an ISL ship. You can find them in the workshop. You just type in ISL and a bunch of their ships and vehicles will pop up. I have quite a few of them, and the majority of the ones I use are this is a tunneler miner. This is the ion based. He's got one for each. He has one that each one of the miners in the ISL collection is you have one with every type of thruster. Each one has different thrusters on it. You'll have one with Atmo thrusters, one with hydrogen thrusters, one with just ions. He's got a few shuttles, small grid and large grid in there. He's got transport vehicles for both types of miners. The 2 types of miners that are in the group are like this one here are tunnel miners, and then you have quarry miners. The other ones, you'll know them by the drills will be on the underside, vices on the front of the ship. All right, another ship I have added to it. This is a Keen design ship. I've made some slight modifications. Obviously, the new sci-fi thrusters on it, all over the place. I've added the rotary doors in. Oops, I am upside down. Okay, there we go. It was right side up in the first place. I'm also running a program or script right now that automatically opens and closes the doors. It's whips. Hang on, let me find it. Here it is. Oh, that's the med bay. Where did I put? There it is. Pick out one of the. So it's whips, auto door, and airlock script. I'm pretty sure all you have to do is type in whips, and a bunch of his scripts will pop up. I mainly use his auto door script. Because I like it when my doors close automatically without having to put up timing blocks and sensors and big hassle. I've also got, as you can see, I've got the armored blocks or armored conveyors by, these are done by Spacebar. He's on the Armcorps Discord. Just type in armored conveyors, and they should pop up. If nothing else, type in Spacebar's name, and it should pop up. You should also, if you're watching the Vanguard series, these type of cargo conveyors are on the Vanguard itself. I've also got different types of vents on here as well. These vents, instead of being a half block, take up a full block. I like a smoother design on some of my ships, so I like using the full block. It also comes with a half block design. So you come with two. You have the full block design here, which is this one. It has conveyor ports on it. All really it is just a conveyor junction with the vent on the front, on one of the conveyor ports. And then you've got the angled one. You can, stick it up in a corner and make it a corner vent. Or an edge vent somewhere. Make it look nice and neat. Yeah, she's pretty much the standard of what was originally built by Keen. I've made some slight modifications to it. Obviously, I've added in the custom jump drives. I use those mainly. This ship is mainly for jump drives are mainly used for going to my ore deposits that I've marked: platinum, silver, gold, ice. I haven't found any uranium yet, but that's one of my ships. I've made some changes to the construction ship, or the blue construction ship that you buy, that you collect over at the construction platform. As you can see, I've got conveyor hinges on them, at least half of the conveyor hinges. Reason for that is I've got on here and on the other side of the ship a set of welders and grinders with the corresponding hinges on the other side. That way I can convert this into a grinding ship or a welding ship. I can weld. I've got the conveyor set up to weld either straight or underneath. Nothing real fancy with it. As you can see here, this is still under construction right now. This is a wider holy cow, wider version of the Challenger. I haven't really thought of a name to. Right now I'm just labeling it as the Whiskey series because it's wider whiskey. Not that I'm an alcoholic or anything. Then I've added a solar array that auto tracks the sunlight without a script. This is the smart rotors. Uh, they've got one for solar panels, and they've got another one for the oxygen farms. You put a couple, 3 oxygen farms on there, and then it tracks the sun to keep the oxygen farms exposed to the sun at all times. Right now, it's literally following the sun. Wherever the sun is, this thing is following it. Hence why it's so far up off the platform, top of the base. So then my next steps, where I left off last time, we were going to go collect the small mining ship. Obviously, we really don't need the small mining ship, but we're going to collect it anyway because it's part of the task. That gives us some more components. As you can see, the Challenger Whiskey series is not completely finished. I've got to do some remodeling inside the ship, and some of the thrusters are not fully complete yet or have yet to be installed because I forgot. And then some of the hydrogen tanks have yet to be installed. Once she's fully constructed, I will be using her. Yeah, the cargo bay underneath here. Hence why I made the Challenger wider. Using her as a bombardment ship to destroy the pirate base on the Earth. Then, so the name of this ship, if you want to look it up on the in the workshop. Hang on, let me go find me a you.
Energy low.
Uh-oh. And the med bay comes with the ship. It's just not connected. That's why I've got the armored conveyors all over the place. All right, so since I'm here, we'll go into the inference. So it's the Dushia, the DFS3 Dushia. I'm sorry if I'm butchering that name. It's a Keensoft warehouse ship. You may be familiar if you're using the MES mods, the modular encounter system mods. There's ones with the crashed ships. This is one of the ships in the MES Rex that's on the planet that you can use to collect. I went and found the actual blueprint for the ship, and I kind of liked it. It has a large cargo capacity on it because it has the 2 large cargo containers up front and 2 in the back. It also has refining capability and production capability on it. Here's some of the other modifications I made. Let's go inside real quick, because I have to go to either the front or the back portion of the ship to get to the upper section of the internals of the ship. It's a little annoying that you have to fly up there, but I'm over the annoyance on this. As you can see right now, we've got a rebuild projector on. Then I've got installed oxygen tanks and hydrogen tanks on board, mainly to refill my hydrogen oxygen while I'm on the ship and using the ship and deploying. On one side with the hydrogen tanks, I have hydrogen generators, and then on the other side we have oxygen generators. These are another mod. Give me a second to find out which one it is. Oops. Workshop. I've got a few blueprints for quite a few different things here. You'll see a lot of Star Trek stuff in here because I'm a big fan of the Star Trek stuff. It's not in here. All right. Let me change this then. Odd. There we go. Now that's all of them. That's better. I kind of figured that list was a little short. Okay, you're not seeing it. You know what? I'll do it this way. That way you guys can see it. I'll unload the game. Load game. Double click. Click. Edit settings. Mods. And I'll show you some of the list. Although I'll list them in the descriptions below. Because these recordings will be posted on YouTube and YouTube only. So some of the stuff on here, more conveyors. It adds a few more of the regular conveyor systems in there. Medium and long straight tubes. A few more choices on the different types of multi-ports. The armored conveyors, the automatic ore pickup. I like this mod. That way I don't have to constantly hold F all the time, and I'm not spreading ores all over space. Autofill bottles. Some of the scenarios it breaks it. This breaks the scenario, but it's working fine on the learning to survive. Obviously, build vision, build info. Camera panning. This allows you to move the camera around as if you're using your engineer to look. Cargo container with fill level bars. Just puts a bar on there. It lets me know how full. There are scripts out there that you can use for it. Compact storage tanks. This mod here is what the oxygen and hydrogen tanks I have installed on the Duchess. And it has 1x1x1 generators. It has one for hydrogen, one for oxygen, or you can have the O2H2. They fill the tanks a little bit faster, and they have a little bit more space in them storage-wise for ice, so you can fill your tanks up a lot faster. These are the conveyors, air vents that I was talking about. They are literally just one of them is just a cargo conveyor block with a vent on one side, and then the sloped one. This is the custom jump drives. This is the one by. You have the 1x1, 1x1x2, 1x1x3, and then they come in both large and small grid as well. Obviously, even inventory, dynamic laser compression module thrusters. This is another mod by Spacebar. I like a lot of his stuff. EDP, more light options. This just adds more industrial type lights, different variety of lights. I kind of like the ceiling lights in it for my bases, especially for my stations. Emissive colors. This is actually meant for those that are have a color deficiency, or they're red green blind. It changes the color of the emit of the emissives on the landing gear, on the locking plates, and the connectors, so that makes it easier for those with color deficiencies, easier for them to see that it's changing colors. Then you have high density conveyors. It's just this is more for small ship stuff. It adds a couple different conveyors in there. High powered spotlights, holographic projectors. What this does is this allows you to, instead of making a blueprint of the ship, if you like the ship but not enough to put it in your workshop or in your blueprints, you can. It has an option, a drop down menu in there, where you can literally uh, build complete, or I'll demonstrate it once we get back in. Modern and fancy. This was used in the last group scenario hosted by the Zebra Monkey guys, Splitsy and Capac. Um, this is the HUD that they used. I've been using it ever since. I kind of like it. Izzy's dense solar panels. Those are the solar panels you saw on there. This increases the amount of power intake they take, so it charges your batteries faster. They but the component demand for them is a lot higher, especially for the 20s. Light block improvements. This puts a little control panel on the side of all the lights, the standard vanilla lights, allowing you to change them if you don't want to use the build info. MA spotlights, just more lights into it. Mid-space admin helper. I mainly have this one on to. It puts a little notification in the window when I have or when I've turned on the creative mode in survival. I like the Milky Way skybox just to give it a clearer resolution and kind of make it look like we're in the makeup Sol system. Nanobot build and repair system, and the drill and fill system. Mainly use the drill and fill system for flattening out asteroids, or making bases inside of mountains. It mines relatively smoothly, gives you a nice clean surface to work off of, and there's no curved edges or anything like that. Then there's the paint gun mod, which I've been using that since they've had it in Wasted Spaces. What was the name? Uncooperative Survival. Projector preview. This works with the holographic projector. These two in conjunction, you can literally change the size of the ship on the projection plate. You can actually turn the actual projector into a projector table. So you put down the projector, and you can use that to project like the table does, a projection of the ship versus the large one for a blueprint. QTech mod. I like their batteries that they have in it. They hold up to quite a bit of power. RB blocks, compact batteries. I use this mainly for small ships. That's mainly what they're for. Retractable landing gear. I love the way they look, especially when you can get them to where they tuck up inside the hull of the ship, so you're flying around. Hoodmaster and TexHug API, they kind of work in conjunction with some of the mods so that they can function properly with inside of SE. The rover cockpit, scratches be gone. Literally, it removes the funky edges on the metal blocks. The SE minimap. This is the radar. Sneaky sounds. This is done by Splitsy. This one lowers the tools sounds so that it's a little quieter, and I don't have to shout over when I'm trying to grind stuff. Ulaf's bullet trails, tracers. He has a bunch of different colors. I'm using the orange model. Here's the smart rotors that I was talking about for solar. This one is this will automatically track the sun without a programming block, and always pivot to put the solar panels in as much sunlight as possible. So you want to make sure that you're putting it in a good location. You also want to make sure that if you're using both sides of the armatures that stick off of it, that you have enough clearance, because it doesn't have sensors to stop it from hitting into things. It just moves, just like a regular a rotor does. It'll hit things and it will destroy your solar panels. And And if you're using Izzy solar panels, that can be very expensive to replace. Advanced welding, this is for if you want to, instead of grinding the block down completely, you hold the control and it grind the block a little bit and it disconnects it from whatever it's connected to. So you may have to grind some blocks around it till its final connection points, and then grind the so like a hydrogen tank. It'll tell you to give you a percentage as you're grinding. Once that percentage hits zero, the block will pop off, and you can take it using a welding plates they have on there and weld it to your ship or weld it onto the station if you want to. Now that's a brief overview of the mods that I have currently installed. Let's get back into the game. Because of all the mods that I have installed right now, it's going to take a few minutes for everything to load up. So you'll have to forgive me if I stay a little quiet. Alright, for some reason it always puts me in my third person view when I pop back in. Alright, so these are the hydrogen generators we're talking about. There's the tanks. Alright, so with the projector, let's see, make sure that they're off. Okay, they're off. With the projector, instead of using the build info, go into one of the and open up your control panel. Now, this is your standard window. Once the blueprint's on, this box opens up. So what that option does, let's turn it on, and I'll show you what it does. Give it a few minutes to catch up. So what you can do with this is you can do in its current state or as built-in fixed. I do the current state, so when I shut it off and I do damage to it, I can turn it back on and it will rebuild itself, or the blocks that are missing will show up. So you want to use this one. Haven't really played with it too much, but that's mainly what I use it for. You could also let me out. I love these doors. They're so awesome. And there's the Whips auto airlock script working. Alright, let's see. Now, oops. I'm going to do a little creative mode here. Going into creative mode by hitting Control Alt 10 or Alt 10, F10. Enable creative mode. And I want to pull out a couple of blocks. And let's see, let's clear my blocks here real quick. I'm going to pull out a projector and a table. So the table is going to have the same features as the projector does. You can pull up the ship, go into the blueprints. We'll pull up the this thing again. This is what I hate about this sometimes. I've got a lot of blueprints and I got to go through and kind of filter some of the ones I don't use out and move them over to my portable, to another hard drive. Alright, so this is the, as you see in the top right hand corner, you'll see the radar system. For some reason it's set up to 5,000. I'm going to drop it back down to 15. And by doing that, all you have to do is hold Alt and Shift, and then use the mouse wheel to scroll. It'll change the radar, how far the radar actually goes out. There we go. All right, let's see if my blueprints have popped up now. I may have to give it a minute to populate. I'll just pull up one of the ships that I have a blueprint for. Let's see. All right, let's go with this one. All right, there you go. There's your standard projection of for the table. Obviously, you can move it back and move it around to center it, or with this, I gotta go into. And so you have two different buttons here that you can. These two buttons are what's in build mode. This gives you the big blueprint. It allows you to build the to physically build the ship. And preview. Still not loaded. Holy cow. Hey, just like the projection table, you can project it right above the actual projector itself. So instead of building a table, you can drop this underneath the armor plate, put a armor plate over the top, or build a block on top of it, position this so it's like in the room, but there's no way to see the projection. I think that's pretty cool. That's a nice little mod. So I will go in and delete and delete. Alt F10. All right, so I'm going to take the Duchess here out, and I'm going to go over to our next destination, which is the mining ship. I do have the build and repair system installed on board as well, but it is not. They're for salvage use only. They're not meant for building. They're only meant for salvage. Because this is a cargo salvage ship. For me, it's a cargo salvage ship. All right, turn on my thrusters. Undock. Oops. And we're off. I spent the last week working on the Challenger, as I was using the original Challenger's diagram to keep the look of the Challenger intact as much as possible, while also making it wider. And I've made some thruster modifications and some other modifications to it. Like I said, I still got the work on the interior of the ship itself. Oop, there's the entrance right there. Could have brought the other miner with me so I can dispose of these floating boulders out here. Get rid of the flying hazards that's in the way. But I'm not going to right now. I'll use the regular mining ship later I'm going to use the mining ship later to dispose of them. So I can get in and fully demolish this base. Which means I'm gonna make another blue, waypoint. Again, you don't have to fully complete the tasks in this game. And a lot of people complete it all the way through because you get a free suit at the end once you complete it. Oh yeah, I forgot. Enter / GPS mining. There. Now I have a GPS for the mining outpost. So I can come back here and remove the materials from it. Ooh, man, it's dark in here. Hey, there's some light. And let's begin. Alright, so like the construction ship, the batteries have been dismantled. One of the batteries is severely damaged. Now we have to fix it. Or restore power. Oops. Let me clear my menu. I was playing around with lights for the shuttle hangar bay. For a shuttle hangar bay. Alright, now that we got powered back up again. One of the lights is out. There we go. We go in. Oops, info. Rename it to the Blue Mining Ship. Grab all my thrusters. There's some damaged ones. We'll fix those when we don't have to worry about it too much. Alright, now I'm going to set up my hotbar. Oh, I set that up was by grabbing and dragging the icon down to whatever number panel I wanted, and then just selecting what purpose I wanted to have. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. That way I can put the batteries on recharge when I need to. Oops. Oh yeah, I forgot the landing gear. Goes here. We're gonna switch locks. And single connector we have on board. And if you go into block tools, click on that. Now you'll be able to use the drills however you see possible. Not very much that I'm going to need here, so I'm just going to quick mine my way out. Now we have the standard miner for the survival series. We'll head back over to the Duchess. I know I'm probably saying her name wrong, but that's what I've known her as, and I will continue to call her that.
No fuel.
Huh. Wow. It doesn't shut the entire ship down anymore. Does the no fuel thing, but whatever. Alright, so the next one we're going to go to, which we're going to end on, is the shipbuilding. So it's less than 5K away, so I won't be able to jump to it. But that's I don't need to jump drives for a lot of these destinations anyway, because the simple fact is they're within relative close, within the 5,000 kilometer range. So this series is going to go completely unedited. Once I start the actual Lone Engineer series and starting the missions and everything, I'll have a better handle on the actual editing software. I'm going to put this up raw, meaning there's no edits. It's just the full recording of everything that happened, or everything that I have recorded. And then I'll probably take them later and edit them down to condense them down, so I have something to play with on the editing software. As you can see, I've got my nose pointed away from the asteroid, so I don't hit it, I don't slow down in time, and then almost within that is the factory. This one will be a little bit more easier to get into. As you We'll do this task. We'll finish off by completing this task and connecting it and landing it on the ship itself. Off stream, I'll go in and I'll tear this place completely down. Do some more touches on the Challenger whiskey version. Hopefully, I can have it fully up and running by next weekend. I'm recording these on a Sunday. I probably won't be able to get this out until Tuesday. I've got stuff going on Monday, so it's going to be every Tuesday I'll have these videos out. And that's US time. Alright, so let's get this task started. Now we gotta put a cockpit on. It doesn't care which one you put on as long as you put a cockpit on it. So I just stick with the standard cockpit, the first one that pops up. I'm going to paint it blue. Don't have the equipment for it. Now normally you would have to go in, grab a steel plate, put it down, right click, and then and then grab the materials out of the block, put it with an easy inventory. I just have to have the block out, go to the right size, right click. Now I have all the components. Oh wow. Remember to check the landing gear to make sure that it is landing gear locked to the platform before you bump into it and knock it across the freaking base. I'm hoping I can grab it with this thing. Oops, I turned it off. That was not what I wanted to do. I wanted to lock it. There we go.
No fuel.
Alright, let's continue building. Now we got to build thrusters in 6 cardinal directions. All we're adding is a few extra thrusters that are not built yet. So we're going to go with the standard old school. And I'm going to grab actually, oops, that's not what I wanted to do. I'm going to grab some steel plates out of it, and I'm going to do it this way. That way I can get all the directions placed that are missing. Alright, should be the last one. There we go. Now we need a gyroscope. Alright, so on placing the gyroscopes, I would recommend actually watching Splits' video. So the way it's supposed to face, if you want it in the correct orientation, is this way. And where the the dot that's facing you is the back of the ball, and the ball that's up front that's visible here. That's the front of it. This is the back of it, as per Splits's theory. Now we got that. Now we got to build, and they conveniently placed a battery here for our power. Ta-da! I'm not going to do any fancy grid setups with this one, mainly because as soon as I get it connected, and I'm going to end up tearing this little chip down for the components. It's not going to be many. There's still components within the base I'm going to collect as well, so. All right. With that, our next task will be, we'll start off back over at the main platform again, and we'll jump over here to this location. So I'll make a GPS before I leave, because I still got to tear it down. We'll jump over here to this location, then we'll fly over to the factory, do the stuff over at the factory, take our first fully built fighter out for combat, and then I'll make a blueprint of it first. That way I can make a few more copies of it back at the main base, and then load this sucker up with um, chips and head over to the combat beacon to take out the pirate base, and then hopefully capture the pirate base and bring it back over, and I may agglomerate it into my main station and turn it into like a small living facility. Vice is trying to build a living facility on the base. I thank you for watching today's episode, and there's more to come. Please look forward to it. Like I said, this series will be completely raw. There will be no edits to it. So whatever it is, whatever I talk about in this recording is everything that was in the recording. Do appreciate you stopping by. Please hit that like button and subscribe. Or if you didn't like the video, the dislike button's right next door. And please let me know what I need to do or things that I could do to improve. Or if you have other ideas for chips that I could use or designs for stations and stuff I can use, please let me know. Once I'm done with this particular series, or the starting portion of the actual series, before I actually start the recording, I'm going to be doing some creative building over on my Twitch channel, which I'll drop in the description below, of everything that of a new station that I'm going to an orbital station that I'm going to be creating. It kind of has a Deep Space Nine vibe to it, but it'll look really, really awkward. Again, I thank you for stopping by, and I hope to see you again. Oops. Oop. That's not what I wanted. They're not working. Well, y'all come back now. You hear?